All right, let's begin by settling in. There's nothing you need to do right now, nowhere you need to go. Just allow your body to rest where it is and notice the gentle support beneath you, the quiet air around you, the soft space you've made for this moment. Take a slow, easy breath in and let it drift back out again, as if you're sighing without effort. With each breath, imagine the day loosening its grip, sounds fading, thoughts slowing, your shoulders growing warm and heavy, your jaw unclenching, your brow smoothing. You are safe here. You are allowed to rest. And as your breathing finds its own calm rhythm, my voice can simply accompany you, like a lantern carried at an unhurried pace, lighting the path just enough. When you feel ready, our story today sets sail at dusk. Our story today begins at the very edge of evening, that tender hour when the sun has already slipped behind the hills, but the sky still remembers its warmth. The air is cool, not cold, and it carries the faint scent of grass and wood smoke. A small medieval town lies nestled in a shallow valley, its stone houses leaning toward one another as if sharing secrets. Shutters are closing, lamps are being lit, and somewhere a hearth crackles softly, sending thin threads of smoke up into the deepening blue. Along the dirt road that winds gently toward the town gate, a single figure approaches, not hurried, not slow, but moving with the unchanging pace of someone who has walked many roads and trusts the road to meet him halfway. He is a bard. His cloak is worn thin at the edges, softened by years of wind and rain, and it moves quietly around him as a light breeze stirs the hem. At his side hangs a small lute, its wood polished smooth by countless hands and countless evenings like this one. The guards at the gate barely notice him at first. Bards are familiar sights in places like this, travelers who carry news, songs, and stories long before ink ever touches parchment. In medieval times, when few could read, it was the human voice that remembered the world. The bard offers a gentle nod, and one of the guards smiles sleepily, lifting the bar without question. No coins are asked for, no names demanded. Somehow, the bard already feels like he belongs. As he steps inside the town, you might imagine the soft sound of his boots on packed earth, the distant clink of a pot being set aside, the low murmur of evening voices fading indoors. He does not carry maps, he does not carry letters or seals. What he carries instead is something lighter and heavier all at once. He carries castles. Not stones and towers, of course, but memories of them. Each keep he has visited, each hall he has slept beneath, each wall warmed by firelight and song, lives inside his melodies. In medieval times, before history was bound into books, bards like him were living libraries. They memorized genealogies, battles, harvest years, and the quiet stories too, the way a certain lord laughed, or how ivy crept along a south-facing wall. And so, as the bard walks, each step seems to awaken a note, soft, almost unheard, as though the stones beneath his feet are listening. He follows the gentle pull of warmth toward the town's common hall. Its door stands open, spilling amber light on the ground like honey. Inside, the air is thick with comfort, roasted grain, old wood, and the slow heat of a shared fire. The bard pauses at the threshold, as he always does. This moment matters. It is the breath before the song. When he steps inside, conversation softens without anyone meaning it to.
Benches creak as people shift, cups are set down, and the fire pops quietly as if making room. He takes a seat near the hearth, not above anyone, not apart from them, just among. As his fingers rest on the strings of his lute, you may notice your own breathing slowing again, matching the unspoken rhythm of the room. The bard begins not with words, but with a single, gentle note. It hangs in the air, round and warm, like the first stone laid at the base of a wall. Another note follows, then another, each one placed with care. And as he plays, something subtle happens. The walls of the hall seem to widen, the ceiling lifts just a little higher. In the mind's quiet eye, arches form, columns rise, and listeners find themselves standing inside a castle they have never seen and somehow always known. This is the bard's gift. Each melody is a memory, each rhythm a road, each pause a doorway. He plays of a cliffside fortress where gulls cried through narrow windows and the sound of waves echoed through stone corridors. He plays of a woodland keep where leaves brushed the towers in autumn and deer wandered close at dawn. He plays of a snowbound stronghold where silence was so complete it felt like a blessing. And as the music flows, the listeners do not strain to remember. They simply receive, just as you can receive now, without effort, without needing to hold on. Let the images come if they wish, or let them drift past like clouds. There is no right way to listen. The fire continues its slow conversation with the logs. The night deepens outside, and stone by stone, note by note, a traveling castle rises gently in the mind, not to defend, not to impress, but to shelter. And here, in this place built of song and breath, it is very easy to rest. We'll continue the journey shortly, following the bard deeper into the music and deeper into the calm it creates.
Softly continuing now. The bard's fingers move slowly over the strings, not with urgency, not with display, but with the quiet patience of someone who knows that slowness is where comfort lives. Each note drifts outward, spreading through the hall like warm air, touching shoulders, brushing cheeks, settling into the spaces between breaths. Somewhere, a child leans against a parent's side. An old man closes his eyes. A woman rests her chin in her hands, listening not with her ears alone, but with her whole body. And you, too, can simply let the sound carry you, without effort, without thought. The bard begins to weave a story into the melody, not spoken, but felt. It is the story of a road at dawn, mist rising from fields, and a castle appearing slowly through the fog, as if the earth itself is remembering it. In medieval times, many travelers believed places had memory, that stones could remember footsteps, that walls could hold voices, that roads never truly forgot who walked them. So the bard plays as if the land itself is speaking. A low note becomes a gate opening, a soft trill becomes a banner stirring, a gentle rhythm becomes footsteps in a courtyard, and the castle grows clearer, not sharp, not harsh, but dream-soft. You might imagine tall towers, rounded and pale in moonlight, windows glowing with candlelight, cloth banners moving slowly in the night air. But nothing is loud here, nothing is sudden. Everything moves as if wrapped in velvet. Inside this castle of song, there are no battles, no alarms, no fear. Only the hush of long halls, the echo of quiet footsteps, the gentle presence of stone that has learned patience over hundreds of years.
The bard shifts into another melody. This one carries the feeling of a great hall at night, long tables cleared, cups stacked, embers glowing low in the hearth. In medieval castles, fire never truly went out. Even at night, embers were carefully kept alive because fire was life, warmth, light, protection, and comfort. So in the song, a single ember glows at the center of the hall, breathing softly, as if asleep, and around it the silence is kind, not empty, but full of rest. The bard's music slows, his hands grow stiller, the notes lengthen, spaces appear between sounds. These spaces are important. They are where the mind rests, they are where the body loosens, they are where sleep begins to stretch. You may feel your breathing deepen again, slower in, slower out, like waves that no longer reach the shore with force, only with presence. The castle in your mind becomes softer, less detailed, more like a feeling than a place. A sense of shelter, a sense of safety, a sense of being held by something ancient and calm. The bard now plays the memory of a tower room, high above the ground, a narrow window, a bed of wool and linen, a candle burning low. In medieval times, beds were often shared, rooms were crowded, privacy was rare. But towers were quiet. They were places of stillness. And in this song tower, you are alone in the best way, not lonely, but peaceful. The air is cool, the stone walls are steady, the candle flame barely moves. Outside the window, the stars hang like silver dust. The bard does not rush the ending. He lets the notes stretch, thin and soft, until they barely feel like sound at all. And something beautiful happens. The castle no longer needs to be built. It already exists, not in the world, but in you, in your breath, in your stillness, in the gentle quiet behind your thoughts. The final note fades, not into silence, but into calm. The bard lowers his hands. No applause comes, not because the song wasn't loved, but because stillness feels better than sound. The fire crackles once, a log settles, someone exhales, and the castle made of song remains, not as music, not as story, but as a feeling of rest that lingers in the body. You don't need to remember it. You don't need to hold it. It knows how to stay on its own. All you need to do is continue resting, continue breathing, continue allowing the weight of the day to drift away from you. The road outside the town grows quiet. The bard remains by the fire, silent now, just another peaceful presence in the room. And the night continues, slow, kind, unhurried. Your body knows how to sleep. Your mind knows how to soften. Your breath knows how to slow. There is nothing left to do, nowhere left to go. Only this gentle drifting, this calm, this quiet, this rest. As the hall settles into quiet, the bard remains seated by the hearth, his lute resting against his knee, its strings still warm from the song. Outside, night has fully arrived. The sky is deep and wide, scattered with stars that feel close enough to be touched by thought alone. A breeze passes through the narrow streets, lifting a loose shutter here, rustling a hanging cloth there, moving gently as if the town itself is breathing in sleep. Inside the hall, people begin to drift away without words. A bench creaks softly. Footsteps move slowly toward the door. No one rushes. No one feels the need to speak. The bard stays. He always does. In medieval times, Traveling musicians were often offered a place near the fire for the night. They were believed to bring good fortune, their songs carrying blessings, their presence thought to calm restless spirits. So the hearth is kept warm for him, and the floor nearby is cleared. The bard closes his eyes, not to sleep just yet, but to listen, because when the world grows quiet, it begins to tell its own stories. He hears the low murmur of the embers, the soft settling of stone as the building cools, the distant call of an owl floating through the open smoke hole above the fire. These sounds blend together, becoming another kind of music, one without notes, without structure, without end. And you might notice now that your own awareness is drifting inward. Thoughts arrive more slowly. Some don't arrive at all. That's all right. That's exactly as it should be. The bard reaches out and touches the stone floor beside him. It is cool, solid, unchanging. Stone like this has been shaped by centuries. In medieval castles, stones were laid by hand, lifted, measured, fitted with care, each one placed to last longer than a lifetime. The bard smiles faintly. He thinks of all the castles he has known, those standing tall and those remembered only in song. Some fell to time, some were reclaimed by ivy and earth, but none were truly lost, because as long as someone remembered them, as long as someone sang of them, they continued to exist. And now one of those castles exists inside you, not as stone, not as tower, but as a feeling of calm solidity, a sense that something steady and protective rests quietly within your chest. The bard lies down near the fire, wrapping his cloak around himself. The lute is set carefully aside, as if it too needs rest. His breathing slows, deepens, matches the rhythm of the embers. And without ceremony, without announcement, sleep begins to approach him. Sleep in medieval times was different from how we imagine it now. People often slept in two parts, a first sleep, then a quiet waking period, then a second sleep. During that gentle waking time, some prayed, some reflected, some simply rested in stillness. Tonight, the bard drifts easily into his first sleep, and you can drift too. You don't need to follow the story anymore. It can continue on its own. My voice can soften further, becoming less about words and more about rhythm and space and ease. Imagine the castle of song again, but now it is night there as well. Torches are low, doors are closed, wind moves softly along the outer walls. In one quiet chamber, a bed waits, simple, clean, safe. You step inside without effort. You lie down without thinking. The stone walls hold the day away. Your body grows heavier, not trapped, just supported. Your breath becomes a slow tide. In, out, in, out. Each breath gently loosens something, a thought, a tension, a memory that no longer needs attention. You are not falling asleep. You are being allowed to sleep. There's a difference. The castle does not ask anything of you. The night does not expect anything from you. The story does not need you to listen. Everything is already taken care of. The bard dreams, perhaps of roads yet to walk, perhaps of castles yet to be sung into memory, perhaps of nothing at all. And the world continues quietly, turning, resting,
waiting for morning without urgency. You are part of that gentle turning now, held in it, carried by it. There is no rush, there is no edge, only this calm drifting, this soft quiet, this rest. If sleep comes now, it is welcome. If it comes later, that is fine too. Either way, you are exactly where you need to be.
The night deepens its hold, not tightening, but softening, like a blanket settling into place. The hall is almost completely still. The fire has quieted to a faint glow, embers breathing slowly, their light pulsing like a calm, steady heart. The bard's sleep is deep and untroubled. His face is smooth, unlined by worry. His dreams unhurried. And as he sleeps, the castles he carries do not fade. They do not crumble. They simply rest. In medieval belief, dreams were sometimes thought to be doorways, thin places where memory, spirit, and story could pass freely. Not messages to decode, but spaces to wander. Tonight, the bard wanders gently. He walks again along an old road, one that curves lazily through fields of tall grass. The moon hangs low, painting everything in silver and shadow. Crickets hum softly, their rhythm steady and reassuring. And somewhere ahead, without urgency, a castle waits. It does not loom. It does not demand attention. It simply exists. Quiet, solid, patient. You may notice that your own sense of direction has softened now. There's no need to know where you are in the story. No need to follow each image. You can let them blur. Let them drift. Let them dissolve into feeling. The road beneath the bard's feet feels familiar, even though he has never walked it before. That is the nature of remembered places. They welcome without explanation. As he approaches the castle gates, they are already open. Not wide, just enough. Inside, the courtyard is empty and calm. A fountain stands at the center, its water moving so slowly. It barely makes a sound. Water in medieval castles was precious. Collected, protected, shared carefully. So this fountain is not wasteful. It flows only as much as needed. And its sound, that soft, constant murmur, begins to blend with your breathing. In, out, in, out. The bard moves through the courtyard, not exploring, not searching, simply walking. He enters a long corridor. Torch brackets line the walls, but only one candle is lit. Its flame is small, steady, unafraid of the dark. This candle is enough. You may feel now that your body has grown very still. Not rigid, but relaxed. Your hands rest easily. Your legs are heavy and warm. Your face is soft. If thoughts appear, they pass through like echoes in a wide stone hall.
arriving, fading, leaving no trace. The bard climbs a spiral staircase, each step worn smooth by centuries of use. He places his foot carefully, feeling the curve of the stone, the gentle rise and turn. Spiral staircases were common in medieval towers, designed to slow movement, to create calm, deliberate motion. And with each step upward, everything feels quieter, higher, and quieter, until he reaches a small chamber at the top. There is no furniture here, no decoration, only a window, open to the night. The bard steps closer. The air is cool and clean. Stars stretch endlessly above, unconcerned with time. And for a moment, he does nothing at all. He simply stands, breathing, being. You can stand here too, if you like. Or you can sit, or lie down. The story does not mind. The castle does not mind. The night does not mind. Everything is flexible now. The bard feels no need to sing here, no need to remember, no need to carry anything forward. Even the castles can rest. And that is something you can allow as well. The resting of effort, the resting of attention, the resting of holding on. Your breath becomes so soft it almost breathes itself. In, out, in, out. Time loosens, minutes stretch thin, moments blur together. The bard eventually lies down on the cool stone floor, using his cloak as a pillow. The stone is firm but comforting, unchanging, reliable. In medieval thought, stone symbolized permanence, the quiet promise that some things endure, no matter how the world shifts. Let that sense of endurance settle into you now. Not as weight, but as reassurance. You don't have to solve tomorrow tonight. You don't have to prepare. You don't have to remember. The castle is watching. The night is holding. Sleep is nearby. Very nearby. The bard's dream fades into something even quieter. Not images, not stories. Just rest. And you can follow him there, without effort, without direction. Just drifting. Softly. Gently.
The castle grows quieter than quiet. Not empty, but complete. There is nothing left to adjust, nothing left to listen for. Even the wind has softened its steps, brushing the outer walls as gently as a hand smoothing a blanket. The bard sleeps without dreaming now. This is the deepest rest, the kind where stories dissolve, where memory loosens its hold, where even the sense of self becomes light. And you may notice that it feels easier to let go of the images too. The tower, the road, the hall, they don't disappear suddenly. They simply fade, like candlelight at dawn. Your awareness narrows in the most comfortable way, not shrinking, but settling. Breath becomes the only movement that matters. In and out. In and out. Each breath is slower than the last, as if time itself has decided to rest beside you. The stone beneath the bard remains cool and steady. Stone does not rush. Stone does not worry. Stone does not ask what comes next. In medieval belief, stone was thought to absorb sound, holding echoes long after voices had gone. That is why cathedrals and castles felt so calm. They were full of remembered quiet. Let that quiet absorb you now. Any lingering thoughts, the small ones, the stubborn ones, can be placed gently into the stone where they will be held safely until morning, or longer, if they choose. You do not need them tonight. The bard's breathing is slow and even. You can match it if you wish, or simply notice it as something steady nearby. In, out. In, out. Somewhere far beyond the castle walls, the world continues its turning, but it does so without touching you. Markets will open, bells will ring, roads will fill again, but not now. Now belongs to stillness. Now belongs to rest. If sleep has already come for you, that is perfect. My voice can fade quietly into the background, like footsteps moving away down a long corridor. If you are hovering on the edge, that gentle place between waking and sleep, you are exactly where you should be. Nothing needs to change. The bard shifts slightly in his sleep. The fire releases a final soft crackle. Ash settles, and then, almost imperceptibly, the castle exhales, not as stone, but as presence, a feeling of being enclosed, protected, undisturbed. You are inside that feeling now. There is no effort in staying here. There is no effort in drifting further. Your body knows how. It always has. Breath, slower. Thought, quieter. Awareness, soft. If words no longer make sense, that is a sign of success. You don't need to follow them. They can blur, stretch, fade. Sleep does not arrive with noise. It arrives like mist, unnoticed until it is everywhere. And just like the castles carried by song, this rest does not need to be held onto. It will remain, even after you stop thinking about it. The bard sleeps. The castle rests. The night holds steady. And you are free to let go, free to drift, free to sink, free to sleep. There is less story now, and more space. That is intentional. The night has reached its deepest point, the hour when even time seems to pause, listening to itself. The castle is no longer something you picture.
It is something you feel, a quiet firmness beneath you, a gentle boundary around you, nothing pressing in, nothing leaking out. The bard's sleep has become so still it is difficult to tell where his breath ends and the night begins. This is the kind of rest medieval people trusted, sleep as a natural tide, something that arrives when the world grows dim enough and the body remembers it belongs to the earth. No alarms, no glowing clocks, just darkness, stone, and breath. If you notice sensations now, the weight of your body, the temperature of the air, the softness or firmness beneath you, you can welcome them without naming them. There is no need for labels. Your awareness can rest like a hand placed gently on a table, present but relaxed. Breathing continues on its own, in and out, in and out. Each breath feels slightly longer, slightly quieter, as though it is traveling farther inside before returning. The castle's walls are thick. Sound does not travel far here. Even my voice does not need to travel far now. It can stay close, low, unimportant. In medieval monasteries, silence was sometimes described as a form of prayer, not something done, but something entered. You are entering that silence now, not suddenly, not completely, just enough. Thoughts, if they appear, move slowly, as if wading through deep water. They lose their sharp edges, they lose their urgency. And then, often, they simply stop arriving. The bard turns slightly in his sleep. His cloak shifts. The stone remains steady. Nothing asks for your attention. Nothing requires a response. You are allowed to disappear into rest for a while. The castle does not need a guard tonight. The gates are closed. The road is empty. All is well. If you feel yourself drifting in and out, that gentle floating, that is perfect. If you feel yourself sinking deeper, that is perfect too. There is no correct depth, only comfort. My words may begin to feel far away now, or strangely unimportant. That means sleep is already close enough to touch. So I will not guide, I will not describe. I will simply remain for a few more breaths, and then fade. In, out, in, out. The bard sleeps, the castle rests, the night holds you, and you are free to let go completely now.
There is almost nothing left to say, and that is exactly right. The night has done its work. The castle no longer needs walls. The story no longer needs words. Everything that could soften has softened. Your breathing is quiet. So quiet it feels like the room is breathing with you, not separate, not apart. In medieval times, people believed the deepest sleep was a small return to the earth, a remembering of stillness older than thought. That is where you are drifting now. No images, no effort, no direction, just weight and warmth and rest. The bard does not dream, the castle does not echo, the night does not move. And you do not need to be aware of anything at all. If a thought appears, it dissolves before it finishes forming. If a sound appears, it fades before it becomes meaning. My voice is already moving away down a long stone corridor, its footsteps growing softer and softer. You may not hear the end of this sentence. That's okay. Sleep is not something you enter. It is something that gently covers you, like dust settling, like snow falling without wind. Nothing presses, nothing pulls, only rest, only stillness, only the quiet certainty that you are safe and can let go.